Me now from Jerusalem is Israeli journalist Carolyn Glick, senior contributing editor for the Jewish News Syndicate. Thank you. Just one video after another revealing the nightmare that continues in Israel. What are you hearing, Carolyn, about the ground assault and the offensive from Israel in Gaza?
Well, it's expected imminently. We just, Prime Minister Netanyahu just formed a national emergency government with one of the heads of the opposition, former defense minister, his former defense minister, and political opponent, Benny Gantz. And they formed a new decision-making structure for the management of the war. They're starting immediately. I think that they're going to be sworn in at the Knesset tonight. At any rate, so I would assume that right after the government is sworn in, the invasion of Gaza will be imminent. And we're also now getting an all-out alert in the north for enemy aircraft of one kind or another and penetration apparently from Lebanon. But it also includes Golan Heights, some may also be coming from Syria. So we're already in a two-front war, and that's what we're contending with now.
The threat coming from all directions. I hear you, Carolyn. What is Hamas saying about the hostages right now, upwards of 150 that we know are being held in Gaza?
I mean, they're using them to try to extort concessions from Israel, and they're using the fact that there are hostages from third countries to try to get foreign governments to get involved so that to restrain Israel's air attacks and prevent the ground offensive. But that's not going to happen. So, they're trying to use them as bargaining chips. But the Israeli government, including the new government, understands that as much as we want to see the hostages home, they include babies, that the only way that we can secure the release of any of them is through a ground invasion and a military operations that, as we go forward, will be perhaps able to save some of them.
There is so much to understand here, and you make an important point as I look at some of the tweets that you have put forth. The Palestinian Authority is acting as Hamas's diplomatic arm at the UN, in the global media, and in the halls of power. They are partners with Hamas in terror, always have been. Can you differentiate for us at all or further explain what you mean between the Palestinian Authority and support of Hamas?
So the United States gives about $500 million a year since President Biden came in to office in financial assistance to the Palestinian Authority, claiming that it's not a terrorist organization. And this has always been untrue, because the Palestinian Authority is a full partner with Hamas. Its own people carry out terrorist attacks against Israel. They glorify terrorists. They pay them. They pay their families. Anybody imprisoned in an Israeli prison for terrorist offenses gets paid, and the more Jews he kills, the more he gets paid. So that's the Palestinian Authority. The U.S. passed under the Trump administration the Taylor Force Act to block the U.S. from financing the Palestinian Authority so long as it continued to finance terrorism, but the Biden administration ignored it. And so the distinction has always been an optical illusion. It's never been real. The PLO, has been cooperating with Hamas in its terrorist operations since 1994. And today what we see very clearly is that the Palestinian UN ambassador is accusing Israel of genocide and blaming it for the slaughter of Jews in southern Israel by Hamas on Saturday. And they're calling for Israel to be brought up on war crimes for responding to these acts of genocide against its citizens. So I think that everybody should be very clear that supporting the Palestinian Authority, supporting Palestinian statehood, such as it is at this point, means supporting genocide against the Jews. This was a moment of clarity for many people in Israel also, who had continued to operate under the delusion that it's possible to reach some sort of an agreement on coexistence between the Jewish state and jihadist enemies who exist in order to annihilate us. And we told ourselves all sorts of stories about moderation among the Hamas terrorist leadership that were completely untrue, and they were proven to be untrue on Saturday.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.